Besides Tower Defense Simulator, Roblox is a lot of other tower defense games, so I played 5 of the most popular, ranking them as I went to see which one was truly the best. Game 1 was Tower Battles, a classic of the genre responsible for inspiring TDS. I had played a little of the game before, so I had already unlocked the Fragger Tower, a cheap beginner tower, and the Monkey, an April Fool's Day tower which literally does nothing. Navigating the menus, the game's interface is semi-retro themed, but it's also very polished for what it is. The matchmaking system isn't the best, but that's something every tower defense game struggles with, so I went to a 6-player PvP game. PvP is a unique feature of this game where the map is duplicated and 2 teams try to survive longer than each other, with the additional twist that players on either side can spend money to send bonus zombies to the other side to try to overwhelm them. Now, my towers weren't particularly great, but my teammates were both experienced players, so they were able to pick up my slack a bit with towers like Enforcer and Patrol. This game's towers do share a lot with TDS's, but that's because a lot of TDS towers were based on this game. Anyways, returning to the game, 2 of the 3 blue team members quickly left, turning the game into a 1v3. However, with the lone blue player having a golden commando and me being a very low level, it was still fairly close. However, the boss 2 eventually spawned, and with 1600 health, it was too much for the blue team, sponging enough damage to allow some of the weaker zombies to slip through, winning me and my team the game. Overall, I'd say the game was definitely fun, and it is well polished, but it does feel a bit outclassed by other TD games, meaning I'd give this a B tier. After that, I decided to jump into Tower Blitz. This is actually a game I used to grind heavily, as I had almost every tower in skin. I'd say this is probably the most underrated tower defense game. In the lobby, you can find the challenge system, where every day there's a custom designed challenge with set towers and difficulty, which you can complete to earn points, a currency used to buy unique skins. One other feature is the difficulty modifiers, which can be applied to a round to make the game easier or harder for more or less rewards. Both of these add a lot of replay value to the game and are part of the reason I originally got hooked. So anyways, I got into a 6-player game in which 2 people immediately left, and we picked the normal difficulty. I placed some early game towers and the run coasted for a bit. The game's towers aren't all the most unique, but Tower Blitz has a unique feature that the towers have 2 upgrade paths, usually bringing contrasting abilities which open up tower design a lot more. As the run progressed, I placed a variety of towers and familiarized myself with the game a bit until unfortunately disconnecting on wave 22. It was nice to return to the game, and overall I'd give Tower Blitz an A tier. While the core gameplay is somewhat basic, the huge amount of features really elevate the game. However, the next game was one I hadn't played, All-Star Tower Defense, by far the most popular tower defense game on Roblox. Now, I've never really been a big anime fan, so I wasn't too sure what to expect. As I joined the game, I was greeted by a tutorial, something the other tower defense games don't really have. Unfortunately, the tutorial was not very helpful, and this leads into one of my problems with the game. It is not beginner friendly. This is something true of the entire genre, however it's particularly bad here. I might just be stupid, but when there are so many features combined with this huge segmented lobby, it's hard to know where to go or what even to do. However, that same huge amount of features is also definitely a positive for the game. You have these little anime characters that ride on your shoulder, you can fly around with wings, you can drive a car. It does feel very unique compared to most of these other TD games. Anyways, I explored 3 parts of the game, with the first being story mode. There were over 20 missions, so I just picked the easiest one and ended up in a duo game. Unfortunately, I unwittingly picked extreme mode. Despite my teammates' best effort to carry me, we ended up losing almost immediately. So after that, I went to another section of the lobby, an area which promised free coins and gems. Here, you are teleported to a different place, where you stare at the screen and wait for a timer to go down. And after waiting a little over 8 minutes, I received 5 gems and 8 coins, a tiny amount. This is blatantly the developers farming premium playtime, and feels very hard to support. But anyways, after returning to the game, I moved on to another area, which housed the endless game mode, which let me experience more of the actual gameplay. The zombies are all very unique, and there are some with interesting traits, such as the de-accelerates, which start off very fast, but over time have their movement speed reduced, and the powerfuls, which can only be hit by towers which have been upgraded. However, the gameplay itself has one fatal flaw, in that it feels incredibly slow. Zombies move far too slowly, to the point a single wave can take over 3 minutes. It took me over 20 minutes to get to wave 9, at which point my internet once again went out and I disconnected. The originality and more complex features definitely add to the game, but still feels overall lacking in polish, with basic default zombie walking animations, poor pacing, and the overall stock looking UI, which in addition to the blatant over monetization, puts this game in C tier. There are only 2 games left now, so I went to Pixel Gun Tower Defense, a game which has recently gained a lot of momentum, and another one which I hadn't played. The game also had a tutorial, however it was a lot more comprehensive than All-Stars. Unlike a regular tower defense game, you can sort of build your own towers. There are different base classes of characters, and you can give them any of a wide variety of specialized pixel guns. This all gives a lot more depth to the actual gameplay. I finished the tutorial and went to the actual game, so I played 2 rounds. The first round I played with a fellow level 0 player, and we actually did fairly well. The difficulty was pretty low, and there were text prompts similar to TDS's, which provide info for coming enemies. We cruised through the first 10 waves until the weaker boss spawned in wave 11, a boss with 500 health who can stun towers by swinging its sword, and it ended up leaking through. However, in this game, your base has 1000 health, which means there's much more leniency in the early game. We regrouped and managed to survive until wave 15, until the quote-unquote weaker boss spawned, an enemy with 1750 health, which ended up killing us. I was able to experience some of the progression in the game, as with the money I had earned, I bought the golden friend gun, which I brought to the next round, and with a higher level teammate, I was able to experience a few more aspects of the game, such as the difficulty customization options, and little features, like these bonus gadgets you can use, and small bits of money that can drop on the ground. We ended up losing the round, but overall I really enjoyed the game. The core gameplay is more unique with the customization, and the game just has a lot of funny stuff. I'd give it A tier, which left only one final game, Tower Defense Simulator. TDS doesn't have many of the unique features of the other games, but does do the basics very well. The tower models, the UI, the lobby, the maps, all of it is objectively very high quality. The one area it lacks is in those creative features. However, with the teased return of the polluted wastelands map and a PvP mode, I think the game still has a lot of potential left. A tier. This game will always kind of be special to me in a way, even if some parts of it are fairly weak. But yeah, let me know if my opinions are right or wrong. Subscribe if you want. Bye!